So Hugo, good evening.
Good evening, teacher. Please read my text, please. I'm driving to my house. Then give me 10 minutes.
I forgot. Yes, sorry. Go ahead.
Yes.
We're going to start in a minute, right?
Yes. Because in my Yoda is difficult to get the class. Then I need to go to my house.
Yes, for sure. Don't worry. Thank you. We're going to start in a minute, right?
Right, teacher.
The angrier I got, the more he laughed. He thought I was putting on an act. Yeah. So I and I was like, bro, I'm serious. This is new. Who's going to pay for this? And he laughs even more. So I was like, please call the manager. And he laughed even more. The angrier I got, the more he laughed. He thought I was putting on an act. Yeah. So I just left with my scratch.
Well, let's talk about Coda though. You get an opportunity to do something like this, and
All right, so because it's time, we're going to start with the class of today, right? So we're going to continue. Give me a second. Where is your course? All right. So we're going to start with the class of today. I'm going to share my screen, right? And you're going to let me know if you can see it. All right. All right, so now we're going to listen this audio.
Hello, how are you? The grammar point we're going to study now is using the auxiliary verb for emphasis. I do think you'll find it very useful. Let's begin.
All right, so this is an interesting lesson because this do, right, as an auxiliary, we know that this doesn't have any meaning, right? It's only an auxiliary verb, right? As a verb, of course, it has meaning, but what about when we want to emphasize on something? Let's see.
We often use auxiliary verbs for emphasis to give something special importance. Auxiliary verbs include the verbs do, be, and have, and modals like can, could, should, and will. A lot of people didn't believe Nick, but he was telling the truth.
All right, so in this example, right, a lot of people didn't believe Nick, but he was telling the truth, right? We're going to use auxiliary verbs for emphasis, right? To give something special importance, right? And auxiliary verbs include verbs like do, be, and have, and of course modals like can, could, should, and will, right? So let's see how does it work.
If the sentence already has an auxiliary verb, we emphasize it by putting more stress on it when we speak. When we put stress on a word, we make it longer and stronger. Hey, Nick, you should see this commercial.
I have seen it.
Did you know that Talia was offered a job in Chicago?
No, I didn't know that.
All right, so we're going to notice that some sentences, right, they count with an auxiliary, right? Or even though it could be a modal, in this case we have should. Hey Nick, you should see this commercial. I have seen it, right? I have seen it. This word is an auxiliary, right? And then we have in the next example, did you know that Talia was offered a job in Chicago? No, I didn't know about that, or I didn't know that, right? So when we put a stress on a word, we make it longer and stronger, right? I didn't, I have seen, right? So let's continue. This is not clear at all, right? But let's continue with the third example, with the third point.
If the sentence does not have an auxiliary verb, we use the auxiliary do, does, or did for emphasis. Notice that the base form of the verb always follows do, does, or did.
Too bad you don't like soccer.
I do like soccer. It seems like just yesterday.
It does seem like yesterday. I guess things worked out for Jackie.
And for you too. You did score the winning goal.
All right, so here is the point of the lesson, right? We're going to see these three auxiliaries, right? Do, does, and did. Yes?
I am right. I am right. I'm ready.
All right, thank you. So as I was telling you, right, the lesson of today is about auxiliary verbs. For emphasis, I don't know if you heard about this before.
All right. It's emphasized. Right. Mhm.
Yes, yes, right. And the structure it's different when we're going to use auxiliary to express something, right? Because we're going to see the examples. Can you please read it?
Too bad you don't like soccer. Second one, I do like soccer. Third, it seems like just yesterday. It does seem like yesterday. I guess things worked out for Jackie. And for you too. You did score the winning goal.
All right, thank you. So what is the purpose of this one? Actually, it works as an emphasis, right? We're not trying to translate it. We can't, right? Because as I told you, it's an auxiliary who joined, right? All right. As I told you, it's an auxiliary, right? That's something that we know, but it doesn't have translation. That's the curious part. It doesn't have translation. And then we have I do like soccer, and then when we're going to use it, we make a special rhythm for it in order to give it importance to the word, right? I do like soccer, right? It seems like just yesterday. It does seem like yesterday. You did score, right? So let's see the structure, right? We actually are going to conjugate it as a normal auxiliary, right? It follows the same thing, right? For example, it seems, right, because I'm using an auxiliary, even though we know that it doesn't have a translation, but we have to conjugate it in the base form seem. I do like, right? I'm not using or I'm not changing the word. You did score, right? I guess things worked out for Jackie and for you too. You did score the winning goal, right? So it doesn't have translation, right? What is my emphasis in this in these three statements? Can you please help me, Hugo?
Maybe the
What will
result or the action.
Yes, the action, right? I do like soccer. It does seem you did score. That's a word that I want to emphasize, right? So this is very interesting, right? I'm going to show you a short video, right? I was looking for Jim Fallon show, but give me a second. How was it? What is the name of this video? Or I guess it's Miranda Cosgrove. Give me a second. All right. So, okay, this is a short video, right? It lasts 6 seconds, right? All right, and you're going to see it, right? All right, let's pay attention to I saw this on Facebook though, right? So let's pay attention on this.
I actually do cuss a little.
All right, I actually do cuss a little. This is very informal to use, right?
You also, what's your favorite curse word? Probably fuck.
All right, and then we can. I hope YouTube.
I actually do cuss a little.
All right, until that part, I actually do cuss a little, right? Cuss it's a kind of slang, right? It's not a verb, right? And when she says, I actually do cuss a little, she is trying to emphasize that she did something, right? But it doesn't have translation, right? That's the point of it. She is trying to use this auxiliary to, but she's making an emphasis, right? She's trying to emphasize to this word just a little, right? So I actually do just a little, right? It is not working as an auxiliary verb at all, right? Do you have a homework for tomorrow, right? No, I don't, right? It's not working as a normal use that we know about the auxiliaries, right? This is a new, this is something new for you, I could imagine, right? And it is working as an emphasize, right? So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and we're going to continue, right? Give me a second. All right. So don't forget that it doesn't have translation, right? Where we stop in, I guess in this one, right? All right, so is everything clear until this part? Guys, good evening.
Good evening, teacher.
Hi,
Yes.
Wilson. Is everything clear?
Yes, teacher.
All right, is this the first time that you're looking for this? Or maybe you've seen this before?
Not the first time, teacher.
All right, thank you. How about you, Daniel? I could imagine that, yes, you've seen this before.
Hello, teacher. Good evening. I
Hi.
have seen this before, but I didn't know the actual action of this before the verbs. So I'm learning it.
All right, thank you. So yes, it's not difficult, right? It's an informal way to emphasize something, right? Because we only use emphasize when we speak, right? In a way, spoken English, right? We actually use these words, these auxiliary verbs to emphasize, right? Or emphasis. So it doesn't have a translation, right? En realidad los auxiliares no tienen traducción, right? Específicamente hablando de esto, es muy curioso la estructura porque no funciona como un auxiliar en el simple present, como para hacer pregunta o para hacer alguna negación, right? Simplemente tenemos a nuestro, pero perdimos los ejemplos. All right, we're going to continue with the next one and I'm going to explain in that part.
If the main verb in the sentence is be, we can emphasize it in the same way. Nick was innocent.
All right, so okay, I thought that we were going to have more examples about it, but I guess we don't, right? So for example, in this second one, in this first one, in this third one, we don't have the verb to be, right? So that's the reason of why we have to write, or we have to add a word. You do, right? It does seem, right? That's the reason of why we put, or we use an auxiliary verb, because we don't have verb to be. But if we have, we don't have to add anything, right? That's the only case that we have to add it, is when we're not going to have modals, or for example, we're not going to have the verb to be. Only that case, it's necessary the use of does or do when you want to emphasize something, right? So what is the word that we have to emphasize, or what is the main goal of this? Is that when I'm going to put do, right, in this case, I'm going to erase the letter D, right, because that's the formula, right, of our auxiliaries, right? We have to put the next verb in the base form, right? So you do score. I know it sounds weird. Yes, I know it sounds weird, but that's not the reason of why we couldn't use it, right? You know, so be comfortable with the use of it, with the usage of it, And let's continue, right? The last one.
We emphasize things for many different reasons. One reason is to agree with something someone has said. It seems like it was just yesterday when you asked me to turn up the volume.
Yeah, in a way, it does seem like just yesterday.
We also use emphasis when we disagree with something.
It's too bad that Talia is moving to Chicago.
She isn't moving to Chicago. She's staying at Newsline.
All right. All right, we're going to continue with this point, right? So we want to when we want to emphasize, right, things. For example, when I want to agree with someone, right? I'm going to use, in this case, it seems like it was just yesterday when you asked me to turn up the volume. Yeah, in a way, it does seem like just yesterday. So I'm going to see that the first thing, right, is that Nick agrees with Patty, right? That's the first thing. The second one is that I don't have the verb to be in this sentence, right? So that's the reason of why I want to emphasize. I'm going to use my auxiliary verb for emphasis, right? And what is going to emphasize? The action, right? So followed by it, I wrote, right, seem. Let's see the next example. It's too bad that Talia is moving to Chicago. She isn't moving to Chicago, right? So as I have the verb to be, right, and I have the negative, it's not necessary to use it, right? To use does, do, right? So generally, I'm gonna write it into the negative form of the verb to be because I have it, right? She isn't moving to Chicago and she's staying at Newsline, right? So, do you got it, guys? Any question? Guys?
I think that we will have questions during the practice time, teacher.
Teacher, how about the last sentence, the last one about Amy? And the auxiliary verb is to be in this case.
Yes. It is too bad that Tal is moving to Chicago, right? In this case, I have the verb to be, right? So I have the verb to be, that's the rule, right? If I have the verb to be or maybe a modal, right? It's not necessary to use the emphasize, right? To make it emphasize because I already have it, right? So that could be, I don't know if I solved your question, Hugo.
No, it's all. Thanks.
All right, thank you. We're going to practice, right? It's not difficult, but you know what is the difficult part? Is that it sounds weird, right? That's the reason why sometimes it is difficult to learn because we don't have in Spanish, we don't have something or any word to make emphasis, right? So let's see. Complete the dialogue, drag and drop the answer into the correct blank. You will not use all the choices. All right, so give me a second, please. I guess it's this one. I'm not sure if it's the first part. What's going on? All right, yes. All right. So we're going to practice, right? No todos tienen que tener un enfatizador, right? Así que let's continue, right? So remember the day Nick told you he saw Jackie Bishop on TV? Number one, please, Daniel.
It could be do or have.
I do remember it, right? So, okay. Oh. All right, so in this statement, right, I do remember it. I remember it very well. Let's see. In this statement, remember the day Nick told you he saw Jackie Bishop on TV? I don't have any model. I don't have a verb to be, right? But I want to emphasize, right? What is the action that I want to emphasize? Remember, why? Because in this case, right, Italia agrees with Amy, right? So that's the first rule of it, right? She's trying to use the emphasis to because she's agree, right? Because she agrees with Amy. And then I'm using do because we don't have the verb to be, we don't have any modal, right? So that's the first use of it, right? Let's continue with number 2. Hugo, please. It really seems like just yesterday.
I did seem like yesterday. It did.
Why? My verb is in the present.
But
It really seems like just yesterday, right?
okay, that's no.
Yeah.
Okay, no matter the context.
Yes, right? We're talking in present, right? It really seems. Why? Because my verb is in simple present, like just yesterday. I'm talking about the context is about yesterday, but my real verb is in present, right? My action, right? What it looks like, I'm talking about the present, right? So that's the reason of why I wrote, right? Or the correct answer would be just, right?
And what about number 1? Number 1 is not past.
Remember the day Nick told you he saw Jackie Bishop? It's a scheme, but the question is in the past, right? But the answer is in the present. ¿Recuerdas cuando Nick te dijo que vio a Jackie Bishop en la televisión? Sí, lo recuerdo. No siempre tiene, porque la pregunta está en pasado, la respuesta tiene que ser en presente. Pero le está hablando si hoy en día se acuerda de eso, right? So that's the reason of why in the answer I do remember it, right? Porque está haciendo referencia ahora. Right? Do you get it, Hugo?
Yeah, that's okay.
All right, thank you. And then another thing that is going to help you is because of the verb, right? Remember. I remember it very well, right? It well. Esta parte está en presente, entonces le corresponde tener o estar ligado de cierta forma, le corresponde estar en el mismo tiempo verbal, pese a que la oración esté en pasado, right? So let's continue. Have you heard that Jackie got a part in a toothpaste commercial? Please, Wilson.
I have heard that.
All right, thank you. So why do I put have instead of does? The first thing is that in my question, I'm talking in what time tense?
In the present perfect.
Yes, right. So that's the reason of why in my answer I'm using the use of this auxiliary have, right? Because I'm talking about the present perfect, right? So let's continue. She looks kind of silly in it. Daniel?
She does look silly, doesn't she?
She does look, right? Not looks, because I'm using an auxiliary. Remember the rule of the auxiliaries. If I'm gonna use it, I need to put my verb in the base form, right? Is it okay, Daniel?
Oh, sorry, teacher. Yes, I said look.
Oh, all right, thank you. So, all right. You seem a little depressed, Talia. Hugo,
M.
can you read the whole one?
I am a little depressed. I miss Nick.
Thank you. Why don't you call him, Wilson?
I will call him as soon as I have a chance.
All right, thank you. That's all. Let's see. So everything was okay. So one more time, we're only going to use do, does, right? Even though we can use the past, right? And it depends on the context, right? Not always the same time tense, right? But we have to see what is the context, right? Because especially talking about the auxiliary verbs for emphasis, right? We don't have a specific rule, right? That's the reason of why sometimes it could be difficult to understand, right? But the only thing that you have to know is that when we want to emphasize something, and the statement, right, that I want to agree or disagree, right? It's in the, for example, we don't have a verb to be, or we don't have any modal, right? I'm going to use do or does, right? But if I have the verb to be, I could conjugate it, right? So let's continue. Give me a second. Where is it? All right. We're going to continue with the next practice, right? So I'm going to share my screen again. All right. So you have to complete each dialogue, type the correct form. Oh, I forgot to share. All right. Type the correct form of be or an auxiliary verb for emphasis into the blank, right? So, all right, here we go. Complete each dialogue, type the correct form of be or an auxiliary verb, so we have two options, right? For emphasis into the blank, right? So, number one, please, Daniel.
I thought you said that Amy called you. She did call me. She obviously didn't tell me everything.
Thank you. I thought you said that Amy called you. She did call me, but she obviously didn't tell me everything. Thank you. The next student, please, Hugo.
Well, it seems like everything has worked out.
Do I have an auxiliary verb, or do I have the verb to be?
Auxiliary verb. I'm not sure it did.
All right. It's in simple present, right? And then
The thing is, I read the answer, I read the context, then it's confused for me. Okay, it's that it does. Okay.
yes. Well, it seems like everything has worked out. It does seem that way, right? In this part, if you are talking about the context, right? So this is something that happened, right? We're using the present perfect, right? Has worked out. But I'm talking, this first action is in the present, right? Because I'm talking about now, right? But though I'm making reference, right? that I'm trying to use two sentences, right? Two clauses. The first one is in simple present. The other one is in present perfect, an action that has happened, right? And I'm making reference not to this second statement, right? I'm not talking about it. I'm talking about this first one, right? Well, it seems like everything has worked out, right? It does seem that way, right? Parece que todo, todo se ha trabajado bien, algo así podría ser su próxima traducción, pero no estoy hablando de este tiempo verbal, estoy hablando de la idea que tiene Talía, right? Por eso es que no estoy utilizando otro tiempo verbal, me estoy enfocando en la idea que tiene ahora mismo, por eso dice, well, it seems like everything has worked out, right? It is not important for me, I'm trying to look by it, by the idea she has right now. It seems like everything, right? It does seem that way. I told you to be optimistic, right? And this is another idea, right? So when we're going to focus on the ideas, the time tense could change. Why not, right? And the same happens in Spanish, right? So I don't know, Hugo, if it's clear.
I think I'm trying once again.
Yes, we're going to continue practicing, don't worry, right? So number 3, please, Wilson. You know, we should celebrate tonight. I agree.
We should celebrate.
Yes, because I have a model, right?
Yes.
Any idea? Thank you. The next one, please, Daniel.
How about Valentina's? Perfect. But we will need reservations. I will call them.
Thank you. Thank you, Daniel. That's the correct option. Why did you choose that one?
Because the context, I will say.
Yes, thank you, because of the context, right?
No,
So,
I don't understand that. Why is necessary the context in this, in the others not? For example.
Well, bueno, voy a explicar algo acerca de los auxiliares, right? Hablando de los enfáticos. No hay una regla en específico, me dejo entender. Puede ser entendido como un slang y los slangs son adaptados, right? No es como que tengo una regla específica como el present continuous, right? Es por eso que a veces nos tenemos que guiar por cierta cosa y a veces por otra cosa, por el contexto o por el tiempo verbal por último, right? Entonces hay que tener mucho cuidado en esa parte. Una vez más, no es parte de una gramática. De hecho, gramáticamente hablando, no estaría correcto porque es un slang, right? Es una manera adaptada de hablar. Por eso les decía que no tenemos esto en castellano y puede ser complicado entender, right? Es porque es algo adaptado, es algo aprendido. No es que tengamos reglas, hubiera sido perfecto, pero no tenemos reglas. La única regla que tenemos, bueno, las únicas dos, es que cuando tengamos verbo to be y la otra sería que cuando tengamos modal, tenemos que utilizar el mismo tiempo verbal. Pero si no tenemos, utilizamos el do o el does, right? Dependiendo de cómo estemos hablando, right? Eso, y hay que ubicarnos también en qué ideas vamos a tomar. Por ejemplo, vamos a hablar del ejemplo del número 4. How about Valentino's? Perfect. But we will need reservations. I'll call them. En este caso, nos estamos guiando por el contexto, right? Give me a second. Okay. I'll call them, right? Porque no tenemos verbo to be, ya sé, no tenemos tampoco modal, pero estamos hablando de algo en futuro. Entonces necesitaríamos otro auxiliar, que en este caso puede ser el will. Recuerden, el primer punto, podemos utilizar will, have, cualquier otro modal o cualquier otro auxiliar en su defecto, right? Como no tenemos aquí, no tenemos modal, no tenemos verbo to be, sin embargo, mi contexto me dice que está pasando en un futuro. Puedo utilizar otro auxiliar. En este caso, tendré que utilizar el futuro porque tengo I'll call them, right? How about Valentina's? Perfect, but we will need reservations, right? I'll call them, right? Así que una vez más, específicamente hablando del do y does, que es lo que más se utiliza, right? Porque en realidad el should, el will, se puede, por lógica ya se sabe qué tiempo verbal es, ¿no? Así que lo que nos tendríamos que enfocar más que todo es el uso del do, del does, del did, right? Vamos a practicar, tengo otra práctica, es muy corta y tampoco existen muchas prácticas de esto porque es un slang, right? Es algo aprendido, algo modernizado, right? No es como que tengamos reglas una vez más, no es como gramática en sí, right? Es algo aprendido. De hecho, si mal no estoy en gramática, al momento de, ya hablando de gramática, algo más formal, sería incorrecto el uso del do y el does, right? Porque sería como un slang, right? So, but with the practice, I could imagine that we're going to get it, right? That's the reason why I told you the video, because we actually don't have any particular rules, right? We don't have, that's terrible, but it's because it's part of a slang, right? So we're going to continue with number 5. Hugo?
I have.
Yes. Oh, yes. Right. So in this case, by the way, have you seen Jackie's commercial? I have seen it, right? So in this one, I don't have any modal, but I have an auxiliary. In this case, it's have. So I have to reply it with it, right? I have seen it a few minutes too many, right? So one more time, in this case, we're following the structure, right? So in my guide it's the rule, right? I don't have the verb to be, but I have an auxiliary, so I have to reply it, right? Number 6, please, Wilson.
You still seem very angry at her. I am angry at her. She almost destroyed my career.
Thank you, thank you. Why did you choose M?
Because the next word is angry, so
Yes,
it feels
thank you.
angry.
Thank you, you get it, right? Number 7, please, Daniel.
But she helped prove your innocence. She did help, I suppose. I should be grateful.
Thank you, that's the correct option. Why did you choose this option?
Because the next verb next to the auxiliary verb or to the she, and also the context, because she helped.
Yes, thank you. But she helped prove your innocence. She did help. I suppose I should be grateful. And the last one, please, Hugo. Well, my grandmother always said the truth would win out. She was right. The truth.
I'm not sure, teacher. What maybe? I don't know.
All right. The truth. I'm talking about this one, right? She was right. The truth did. Oh, the truth did win out, right? So let's see. All right. Well, my grandmother always said the truth would win out. She was right. The truth did win out, right? So let's continue. All right. Give me a second, guys, please. All right. So I'm going to share my screen, right? You're not going to work in pairs because, well, yes, it's going to be incomplete, right? Oh, she's not here. So I'm going to share my screen. Give me a second, please. All right. All right, I'm going to share my screen first, right? This is a short PDF, right? So can you please, Natalie, read the first part?
Good evening, teacher.
Hi.
Hi. When we want to add emphasis to a verb, we often stress the auxiliary, say it louder, shown here by underlining. We do this especially when we want to correct what somebody thinks or contrast it with something else, contrastive emphasis.
All right, thank you. So this is a little bit more clear, and I hope Hugo, this could help you, right? So when do we want to emphasize, right? This is especially in spoken English, right? When we want to stress something, we usually say that word or that phrase, right? That verb, that emphasis louder, right? So we do this especially when we want to correct what somebody thinks or contrast it with something else. So let's see the examples. Hugo, can you please read it? The first one.
Why aren't you going to the party? But I am going to the party. I can go this one, but I am going to the one next week.
All right, thank you. All right, so let's see this example. In this case, I have the verb. We have some underlined verbs, right? In this case, we have the verb to be. But I'm going to the party. I can go this one, but I'm going to the one next week, right? So this verb to be and this other one, right? It works as a verb and is trying to emphasize that the person is gonna go to the party, right? But as I have the verb to be, I'm not using another one, do or does, right? We have auxiliaries in the present perfect, right? So let's read it. Larissa, could you please read
it? Perfect. You haven't tidied your room. I have tidied. I did it this morning. I know, but I have put my clothes away.
All right, thank you. When we say that we want to stress the auxiliary, right? In this case, I have, you haven't tidied your room. I have. In this other one, I know, but I have put my clothes away, right? En este caso, chicos, si se dan cuenta, tengo un auxiliar, por ende no necesito agregar otro auxiliar, right? Y esto mayormente pasa cuando hablamos en Spoken English, right? Queremos darle cierta entonación a cierta palabra para darle un poco más de fuerza, right? Independientemente del uso, cuando hacemos esto, es decir, I have, or I know, but I have put my clothes away, right? No es lo mismo que yo digo, but I have put my clothes away, right? Estoy haciendo una entonación. Esta parte que se refiere, we often stress auxiliary, right? We have to say it loud, right? So that could be the first part of it, right? And then let's see, what about if I'm going to have a model? Could you please, Wilson, read?
Is it because you can't dance? But I can dance. Just look. I can't dance the paso doble, but I can dance the tango.
All right, thank you, right? So in this case, my emphasis word could be, or well, my emphasis model is can, right? So that's the reason of why, thank you, Wilson, you made it very well. That's the correct rhythm, right? Ese es en realidad la entonación, right? But I can dance, just look, I can't dance a paso doble, but I can dance the tango, right? So algo que es bien importante hablar es las contracciones, right? When using these emphatic words, we don't use contractions, right? That's another difference, right? Why I'm not using I've chatted, I put, right? Because we don't, right? So that could be another characteristic about the use of the emphasis, right? About emphasis. We don't use contractions in positive forms, even when speaking informally, right? So this is about the continuous, the perfect, and modal, the verb to be, right? The auxiliary and the modal, right? So let's continue. All right, so, but what about simple tenses? As you know, we usually only use the auxiliary verb to make negative and question forms of present simple and past simple tenses, not in positive, right? In other ways, in affirmative form, right? I work, he works, I don't work, he doesn't work, do you work, does he work, he worked, she worked, we didn't work, she didn't work, did you work, did she work, right? En realidad este es el uso con el que hemos aprendido a utilizar los auxiliares, ¿no? Que es nada más un auxiliar, nos ayuda a identificar que estamos hablando en tercera persona, right? No tiene alguna traducción, right? So if we want to add emphasis to present simple or past simple tenses, we need to add the auxiliary do. Remember, to use the main verb in first form, this is sometimes called emphatic do, right? So the first example, Daniel.
Present simple. She doesn't like cheese. She doesn't like cheese, does she? But she does like cheese. In fact, she loves it. I don't like cottage cheese, but I do like blue cheese.
All right, thank you. So let's see the context, right? In this example, right? I'm talking about simple present, right? She doesn't like cheese, does she? So first I'm using tag question, I'm using the negative, right? And this is something that we learned at the beginning, right? What about this first statement and this other one? When I said, but she does like cheese, right? The first thing that I have to know is that this doesn't have translation. The second thing is that I don't have verb to be, right? I don't have any modal, right? But I want to emphasize that I like cheese. So what could I do in that case? Easy. As I'm talking in third person, and as I want to emphasize that I like cheese, right? I'm going to use my auxiliary verb, but it's not working as an auxiliary verb at all. It's working as an auxiliary verb for emphasis, right? The same happens with the second example. I don't like cottage cheese, but I do like blue cheese, right? So I don't have verb to be. I don't have any modal, right? What is my context? That I want to emphasize that I like blue cheese, right? So I easily could put, I do like blue cheese, right? So in my whole context, right? In my whole ideas, I'm talking about simple present, right? So that's the reason of why I'm using my auxiliary verb that works with the simple present, right? But what about the past? Can you please, Hugo, read the second one?
You said you would phone me. I did phone you, but you didn't answer. Okay? I didn't phone you, but I did send you a text.
All right, thank you. Don't forget about the rhythm, right? You said you would phone me. I did phone you, but you didn't answer. Okay, I didn't phone you, but I did send you a text, right? So in this example, right, my whole context is in the past, right? So of course, I'm not going to put just why, because I'm talking about the past, right? So my auxiliary to talk about the past, right, is did, right? So the correct one would be, and it depends on the time tense, right? Or the idea, if it's in the idea should be in the past in this case. That's the reason why I'm using did, right? I did phone you, right? One more time, it doesn't have translation, right? And when you see forms of the auxiliary doing positive sentences in written English, it is always stressed, right? That's something that we practice. So is there any question until this part? Can we continue, guys?
Yes, teacher.
Thank you, Natalie. Hugo?
Yes.
All right, thank you, Larissa, Wilson, Daniel.
Yes, teacher.
Yes, teacher.
All right, thank you. So let's continue with this part. So other times we add emphasis. We also use emphatic auxiliaries, including do, to stress that we feel strongly about something, right? This is another use of the emphasis, right? She does look good in that dress. She is putting on a bit of weight. Her English really has improved an awful lot. You really must see this new film. I did enjoy that party last night. I never did understand what he saw in her, right? So let's continue. Can you please read, Larissa?
He does eat meat, doesn't she? She's coming to the party, isn't she? He has spoken to you about this, hasn't he? You can work late tonight, can you? You did phone Jenny, didn't you?
All right, thank you. So we also can use it with talk questions, right? When we want to confirm something we think is true, right? But that's about the talk questions, right? I could easily say he eat meat, right? También pueden decir directamente he eats meat, right? Pero como quieren enfatizar algo, utilizan el does, right? En este caso, mi enfatizador es el verbo to be. She is coming to the party, isn't she? Right? En este caso, mi enfatizador es el auxiliar has, right? He has spoken to you about this, hasn't he? En este caso, tengo mi modal, que es mi enfatizador. You can work late tonight, can't you? En este caso, mi enfatizador es did. You did phone Jenny, didn't you? Or I could say, you phoned Jenny, right? You phoned Jenny, didn't you? Right? So let's continue. We also use emphatic to in present simple to strengthen an imperative, right? Este es un poquito más avanzado, right? But it's not difficult. To stop going on about it, will you? To try this cake, it's delicious, right? Esto ya es un poco más de gramática, lo vamos a ver más adelante, es acerca de los imperativos, right? Pero básicamente trabajan como enfatizadores, pero utilizando los imperativos, right? Es un poco más de lenguaje, right? But it's the same use just stopping going on about it, will you? You try this cake, it's delicious, right? O fácilmente pueden decir, try this cake, it's delicious, right? It's up to you. So, and we can stress too another auxiliaries in short answer, right? Esto es el mismo uso que se le da a la pregunta y la respuesta. No es tan, es la misma estructura, right? Es más, pasa desapercibido y esta parte. You don't like cheese, do you? Yes, I do, right? En este caso, yes, I do, right? El do es mi enfatizador, pero pasa desapercibido porque sigue la fórmula. Whatever gave you that idea? Mark doesn't eat meat, does she? Actually, he does nowadays. You fancy Mark, don't you? No, I don't. Want me and Mark? Don't be silly, right? So, esta parte la vamos a dejar ahí porque trabaja de la misma manera que cualquier tiempo verbal con pregunta y respuesta, right? So, all right. Okay, we're going to stop until this part, right? So, do you have any question, guys? Can we practice? Guys?
Yes, we can, teacher.
All right, thank you. So I'm going to share my screen, right? So here you have some, well, this is a short paragraph, right? So note that in the following exercises, notice, right, that in the following exercises, there is not always one single correct answer, as the emphasis is up to the speaker, right? Algo que es bien importante, chicos, es que depende de ustedes utilizar el enfatizador, right? Y en realidad en lo único, o sea, en lo único en donde se usa el enfatizador es con el do y el das y el did. Esos son los tres únicos usos. Porque ya hablando del auxiliar, de los auxiliares, de otros auxiliares en presente perfecto, por ejemplo, en pasado perfecto, con los modales can, should, right? Pasa totalmente desapercibido, right? Lo único que nos vamos a enfocar es en el do, el das y el did, que son los más importantes, porque en los demás pasa desapercibido. ¿Por qué? Porque sigue la misma regla que cada tiempo verbal, right? Entonces, lo único que hace enfatizador, se podría decir tanto en el verbo to be, en los modales, en los auxiliares, hablando del have, I don't know, have, has, right? Es la entonación que le vayan a dar ustedes. Por eso es que no sigue una estructura gramatical del todo, porque es algo adaptado, right? No es parte de la gramática, right? Lo que sí podría ser es el do, el das y el did, right? Pero es parte de un idioma aprendido nuevamente, right? Puede resultar complicado tal vez de entender porque no tenemos en castellano y por lo general nos guiamos en base al castellano. Eso y aparte que no tiene reglas, entonces sí podría ser la única excepción, right? Esto del do y el das, el did, right? Porque en los modales, en los auxiliares, pasa totalmente desapercibido. Es más, creo que si yo no les hubiera mostrado esta última parte, ¿dónde está? Ok, esta primera parte, ustedes ni se hubieran dado cuenta que es un enfatizador. But I am going to the park, right? I can't go this one, but I am going to the one next week. Si yo no les hubiera mostrado esto y si no estuviera subrayado, probablemente ni se hubieran dado cuenta que trabaja como un enfatizador. ¿Por qué? Porque sigue la misma regla gramatical, el sujeto, el verbo to be, el verbo principal conjugado con el ing, right? Lo mismo sucede con el perfect, but I have put my clothes away, right? Sigue la misma forma, sigue la misma estructura, right? Si no estuviera subrayado, no se hubieran dado cuenta que trabaja como enfatizador. Por eso es que digo que los únicos primordiales que podemos decir que tenemos es el does, el do, el do y el did, right? Estos serían los únicos, right? Porque ya lo demás se supone, right? Es el ritmo que ustedes le dan que va a convertirlos en un enfatizador, right? Así que por eso es que en la instrucción se tiene, ok, no sé si estará compartiendo nuevamente, ok. Por eso es que en los ejemplos o en la instrucción, as emphasis is up to the speaker, right? Por eso es que depende de ustedes utilizar un enfatizador, right? Una vez más, para recalcar, right? No pasa desapercibido en cuanto lo que son los modales, los auxiliares, el verbo to be pasa totalmente desapercibido, right? Es por eso que incluso acá en la última parte no les he explicado, porque, bueno, en realidad es, a ver dónde está. Give me a second, please. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen again. Ok, es por eso que en esta parte tampoco les he explicado, porque en realidad sigue la misma regla que el cada tiempo verbal, right? I don't like cheese, do you? Right? Esto sabemos que es un tag question, right? La respuesta, yes, I do. Si no estuviera subrayado, right? Se sobreentiende. ¿Por qué? Porque sigue la fórmula, right? Es la respuesta, el sujeto y el auxiliar, right? Yes, I do, right? Lo mismo sucede con todos los ejemplos, right? A veces pasa desapercibido, right? Entonces, por eso tampoco les he explicado, right? Una vez más, chicos, no es un tema que tenga tantas reglas gramaticales, es algo aprendido, right? Algo modificado, podría ser llamado como un slang, right? Así que no se preocupen tanto de esa parte. Lo único que sí es, para quienes llegaron al final, les voy a mostrar este corto video que estaba de moda hace un tiempo atrás, right? All right. Por lo general, siempre se utiliza, lo que más se utiliza es el do, el does y el did. Nada más, los demás pasan desapercibidos, right? Let's listen.
I actually do cuss a little.
Do you?
All right. I actually do cuss a little, right? El do está trabajando como enfatizador, eso es todo, right? Pero si tuviera algún verbo to be, pasa desapercibido de que estás enfatizando. Y lo que hace que esté enfatizando a una oración es el ritmo en que voy a pronunciar, right? So, por eso les decía que tienen que pronunciar de manera diferente, right? So, I'm so sorry if I spoke in Spanish, right? But it was necessary to clarify that part, right? It's not part of me, right? We don't have rules in this part, right? In the emphasize, right? So, so the answers here, my interpretations, right? Fill in the gaps with the present simple or past simple form of the verb in the box where you think it is appropriate. Add emphatic, do, does, or did, right? Entonces lo único que tienen que hacer, y solo estoy poniendo el do, el does y el did porque son los que se usan. Una vez más, los demás, los modales, el verbo to be pasa desapercibido, right? Sigue la misma regla estructural de cada tiempo verbal, right? So, it's up to you, es depende de ustedes cómo lo van a conjugar, right? Van a hacer sus interpretaciones en realidad, right? So, do you have any question, guys?
No, I think teacher.
All right, Hugo, is it clear for you?
Almost, but I need to practice.
Yes, I know, guys. Especialmente este tema es uno de los temas más, más complicados, tal vez, no complicados, sino que difícil de adaptar, porque como no tenemos esto en castellano y es un inglés adaptado como un slang, a veces nos hace un poco complicado, right? Así que por eso les he puesto esa instrucción, right? Porque en realidad depende de ustedes, right? Cómo lo van a conjugar. Esto no lo vamos a hacer en pares, right? Cada uno va a ingresar a Classroom y lo va a practicar por sí solo, right? Porque tiene que ser, depende de cada estudiante cómo lo va a hacer, ¿sí? So, all right. Please, it's in the Word, right? you can do it in dots, right? And that will be, right? I'm gonna give you 10 minutes, please. Les voy a dar 10 minutos para poder acabar, right? Solo utilicen los 3 enfatizadores que en realidad nos sirven, right? Porque los demás no nos sirven, porque claro, lo que hace que enfaticemos es el ritmo en el que vamos a hablar, right? Los más importantes son el do, el does y el did, right? So, you may start, please. If you have any question, guys, please let me know, right? I'm here. So, Daniel, how's everything?
Everything good, teacher.
Can you share your screen with me, please? I want to see your advance.
Okay.
Thank you. You have 6 minutes rest, guys. Go ahead. All right. How about number 2?
I let in that to the end, teacher, because I don't know which verb to use.
All right. Good one. Another option could be I do have, right? I do have to work subject at college.
Yes, you're right. Got the option here.
All right, you stop until number 5, right?
Yes.
All right, so you have 2 options. One could be, for example, a colleague did gave, right? Or directly gave, right? Did give, sorry, right? Remember to
Yes.
put it in the base form, right? Thank you, Danielle. Go ahead. The next student, please, Hugo.
I haven't started, teacher.
Why?
I try to understand.
What part? Can you share your screen with me? All right. All right. All right. So we start the practice at 7:16, if I'm not wrong, right? So what's going on, Hugo? What is the part that you didn't understand? And when I asked if you had any questions, everybody told me that it was okay, right? But I want to know what happened.
I'm sorry. Teacher, I prefer to talk with you after.
All right, all right. The next student, please, Larissa.
Teacher, I am doing. I'm not
Can you share
finished.
your screen with me, please?
I can because I'm from my cell phone, so I'm reading a book.
Send me right now to my WhatsApp and screenshot. Screenshot, please. All right, I'm online, so send it right now.
A picture?
Yes, on the screen.
Okay.
So where's the group? I couldn't find it. All right, Larissa, what's going on?
Teacher, I am not doing in the classroom. I am reading in a book the answer because I can't do it in my phone.
So you're taking notes.
Okay, the number one I read, does go or
Larissa,
he go?
did you write it?
In a
I don't
book,
know. In your
not
notebooks?
in the
All right.
classroom.
All right. Can you please send me a picture of it?
Okay.
All right. The next student, please, Natalie.
Okay, teacher.
Thank you. Can you share your screen? Thank you. All right. All right, you stop until number 8, right, Natalie?
Yes, teacher.
All right, thank you. Everything is okay. Do you have any question until this part, Natalie?
Yeah, in number 2, I'm not sure.
All right, he doesn't have to
It's
wait very long for the bus, but he
travel
yes, could be
or
to
did
change
travel?
the travel, right? To change the travel, to change places once. On Friday, the bus is trying to decide. All right, that could be an option, right?
Okay, teacher, thank you.
Thank you, Natalie. Good job. Continue doing. Wilson?
Teacher, I
Hi.
can send you a screen.
Yes, please.
Okay.
All right. I didn't get any message from Larissa, right? So, all right. All right. Oh my goodness. All right. Okay. What? Until what part you made, Wilson?
Number 10.
All right. In number 4, another option could be I do have to work, right? Said Dick, right? Because we're talking about a story, it could be, right?
Okay.
And a colleague would be did give me or gave, right? So remember, it's up to you in which one are going to use, right? But I would prefer if you use it with the emphasis to does and did, right? It
Okay.
does look, I must say, according to the thank you. Well, I did move. In number 7, the verb is you conjugate it into the past, right? I did as a verb.
Yes.
All right. Another option could be I did do, right? Well, myself. Yes, I did do, right?
Okay.
Because we have, well, I didn't, yes, to be honest. It's negative, right? Well, I did not do myself, but to be honest, right? Because someone helped him, right? So
Yeah.
I got little. All right. Help my hurry. Okay. What is the answer in number 9? Okay. Give him. All right.
I don't
Give him
know
regards. All right.
what
Yes,
the
it's
other
okay.
verb.
You know why? You know what? Because I can see the answers, right? It is an underline or something like that, so it's difficult for me to see which one is the answer, right? So that's the reason why I ask you. But until that part is okay. Do you have any question, Wilson?
No, teacher, I think.
All right, thank you. All right, so Daniel, did you finish?
Yes, teacher.
All right, share the link with me, please. Through the
Through
WhatsApp group.
Through a group, okay.
In number 7, the correct one is in the past. Did you do it all yourself? Well,
Yes, you're right.
right? All right, thank you, Daniel. Don't forget to correct that part. Thank you, Natalie. Oh, I need access. All right. I send you the access, my access request, Natalie. I send you hi. Can you please accept it? Thank you. Larissa, don't forget to send me your whole answers, right?
Okay, teacher, now you can.
Oh, let me check. Yes, now I can. Thank you. I did get good answer. Yeah. All right, good job, Natalie. Thank you. That was all right. So remember, it's up to you in which part you are going to use the auxiliary duties and does, right? So Wilson, don't forget to send me, please, once you finished.
Okay, teacher.
All right, thank you. So we're going to stop until this part, guys. So I hope my video camera, all right. So I didn't know why my camera is still up, right? But we're going to avoid that part, right? So one more time, esto de los énfasis, right? De los enfatizadores auxiliares, right? Los únicos que nos interesan son los tres que hacen la diferencia en realidad, ¿no? Que tiene cierto cambio, que es el do, el did y el does. En cuanto a los demás, que el verbo to be, que los modales, para serles sincera, no nos sirven de mucho. Lo que en realidad le da énfasis al uso del modal, al verbo to be, es cómo vamos a pronunciar, right? Cómo vamos a entonar, right? No es lo mismo que yo entone, bueno, que yo diga algo sin entonación o que lo haga con cierta entonación. Sé que suena hasta chistoso o extraño, pero bueno, es parte de la lección y tenemos que ver. Lo que sí se utiliza bastante es el, por ejemplo, I do have to do my homework. I do have to do my homework. Daniel does travel, I don't know, today at morning, did travel today at morning, right? Entonces, para esas pequeñas situaciones sí utilizamos los enfatizadores y los utilizamos bastante. No tenemos reglas gramaticales en cuanto a su uso, solo cuando vamos a hablar acerca del uso de aquel, right? En cuanto a los, por eso solo les puse en la práctica que utilicen los tres que considero que son más importantes, porque los demás nuevamente pasan desapercibidos, ¿sí? ¿Por qué siguen la misma regla? Es decir, si yo no les hubiera mostrado qué tipo de enfatizadores más tenemos, es que tuviéramos el verbo to be. I am going to travel tomorrow at morning. Este I am es un enfatizador, a la vez es un verbo to be. ¿Por qué le digo enfatizador? Porque estoy dándole cierto, ¿cómo se dice? Cierto rhythm para, o sea, cierta entonación al querer hablar, al querer enfocarme en algo, ¿sí? Lo mismo sucede con el castellano. Cuando voy a entonar algo, cuando voy a ponerle cierta entonación a algo, cuando quiero darle cierta importancia a algo, va a cambiar el modo en el que voy a hablar, ¿sí? Así que solo enfóquense en do, does, and did, right? I saw this in a lot of documentals, right? Pueden verlos en documentales, right? Pueden verlos en shows, right? Que podemos encontrarlos en YouTube. Y bueno, lo del resto, para serles sincera, desde mi punto de vista, lo que es el verbo to be, el modal y demás, pasa desapercibido. Una vez más, lo que va a hacer que enfaticemos algo va a ser el ritmo en el que vamos a hablar, right? El enfoque que le vamos a dar a las cosas, ¿no? Este enfoque, incluso hay cierta tonalidad que cambia, ¿no? Lo que sí utilizamos bastante es el do, el does y el did. El resto ya y se conjuga de la misma manera en la que se está hablando, right? Si voy a hablar en presente, voy a poner mi do en present, voy a utilizar el do, right? Si voy a hablar en tercera persona, en presente, el does. Si es en pasado, el did. Si es auxiliar, should, right? Si es modal, should. Si es el verbo to be, is, are, right? Eso va a ser todo, right? Así que nuevamente, chicos, es un inglés adaptado, es como un slang, right? Hablando específicamente del do, el does y el did, right? Así que eso sería todo en cuanto a la clase del día de hoy, right? Thank you for your attention, guys. See you tomorrow. Don't forget, please, we're going to present, vamos a presentar todas nuestras exposiciones el día sábado, ¿sí? Vamos a quedar el día viernes para ver a qué hora y demás, pero va a ser en la tarde, ¿sí? Para aquellos que no han terminado, que creo que todos han terminado, a todos les he aprobado, creo que hay dos que no han aprobado, porque no no sé si habrán terminado, right? So you have enough time to do it. Y la tarea la voy a asignar, la tarea en conjunto con el examen, la voy a asignar al finalizar la clase, ¿sí? So that will be everything for today, guys. I launched the pool. You can fill it, please. And to practice the use of does and did, you can see more videos or movies on Netflix. That's gonna help you a lot, right? So thank you, guys. Have a great night.
Thank you, teacher. Have a
See
great
you,
night.
teacher.
Take care.
Thank you, teacher. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, Larissa. All right. Hugo?
I'm trying, teacher.
All
But
right.
I'm not sure it's good. I'm not sure.
All right.
No, you suppose around to see. I think you.
Ok, hasta donde estoy viendo no has utilizado algún enfatizador, right?
Sí. Sí.
Cuanto al uso de verbos, depende de cada uno, porque en realidad puede ser completado por cualquier verbo, right? Por eso dice que es depende de cada uno, right? Pero quiero saber, Hugo, si has entendido el tema de cómo se enfatiza.
No, no entendí.
¿Qué parte no has entendido?
Por ejemplo, al momento de querer aplicarlo aquí,
Ajá,
no sé si, por ejemplo, la número 10 esté bien aplicada.
ok. Offer him my regards next time you will meet him. Estaría bien, right? Pero en la instrucción solo dice que tienes que aplicar el do, el does y el did. Entonces, lo mejor que podrías hacer acá en lugar del will sería el do,
Así
right?
está seguro.
Exactamente. Igual no te olvides el uso del presente simple, right? Next time you do meet, right? Que es para algún futuro próximo, right? You meet. Ahora sí estaría bien. Podrías utilizar el will también, Hugo, no hay ningún problema, right? Pero el punto de esto es que quiero ver cómo están utilizando los enfatizadores, right? Ahora, ¿cuándo se utiliza un enfatizador? Depende de qué es lo que vayas a querer decir, depende de ti si utilizarlo o no. No tenemos algunas reglas en específica, Hugo. Sin embargo, si vas a querer enfatizar algo, tienes que tomar en cuenta el tiempo verbal en el que vas a hablar, por ejemplo. Si es en futuro, no voy a utilizar, por ejemplo, o si es en pasado, no voy a utilizar el presente, right? O no sé qué otra duda tienes así puntual.
Es eso, o sea, al momento de aplicarlo, o sea, si te lo leo, yo puedo decir, sé que es enfatizador, pero ahora es el problema.
All right. So, I'm sorry. Were you trying to say something?
No, it's all. That's my
All
problem.
right. ¿Tu problema es cuando quieres conjugarlo?
Algo así. Ajá.
Ok. Por ejemplo, si vas a conjugar algo en... A ver, te voy a compartir mi pantalla.
Teacher, o podrías decirme si aquí se puede usar enfatizador o no.
Claro que sí, Hugo, puedes utilizar donde tú quieras el enfatizador, right? Ahora, Dick doesn't have a car and estamos hablando de Nick, entonces tendría que poner does, right? Y tengo every day, entonces does, ¿este el he has aumentado? Quiero ver.
Sí, sí. Es
Sí,
que
has
no,
aumentado.
no
No
estaba.
es necesario a ver, te voy a compartir mi pantalla.
Ok.
Alright, ahora sí. En este caso, mira, Dick doesn't have a car. And, ¿cuál es el próximo verbo que podrías utilizar? Go, right? Podría ser goes. Pero como quiero enfatizar, right, el verbo go, diría does. and just go. Puedes utilizar donde quieras el auxiliar, el enfatizador. But and just go to work by bus every day, right? He doesn't.
Teacher,
I'm
but
sorry.
it was good to use he goes or no.
Claro, sí, claro, podría ser. No puedes utilizar como también puedes no utilizar. Directamente vamos a omitir el he porque es redundancia. O sea, supongo he sería hacer redundancia, que es lo que queremos evitar. Podrías decir directamente, Dick doesn't have a car and Gus goes to work by bus every day, right? And goes to work every day, right? Tal vez estabas queriendo añadir un sujeto por el tema del número, right? Pero puedes utilizar sí, ¿por qué no? Pero va a ser muy redundante porque ya sabemos que estás hablando de Dick y es una misma oración. Entonces, ¿para qué vas a añadir otro sujeto? Entonces, lo vamos a eliminar y vamos a poner directamente Dick doesn't have a car and goes, I don't know what do I have to pronounce that. Goes to work by bus every day. He doesn't have to wait very long for the bus. But he did travel. Aquí está bien, right? Porque estamos hablando en pasado y estoy queriendo enfatizar. To change uses once. One Friday, the bus drivers, estoy hablando en pasado.
Sorry, ya entendí. Lo que pasa es que yo pensé que tenía que hacer una historia con el verbo que tenía al lado, entonces ha sido, ya entendí. Estaba haciendo
Right?
otra cosa.
Oh, okay, yes, I could imagine that could be. For example, en esta, the bus drivers, right? Estoy hablando en pasado porque tengo one Friday, right? Puede ser acá decide o puede ser travel, right? ¿Por qué no? Travel, right? Travel. Quiero enfatizar esta parte, entonces como estoy hablando en pasado, me corresponde utilizar el verbo el auxiliar en pasado.
Ajá, yo puse decided.
Puede ser did travel y ya está en pasado, right? Ya estoy enfatizando. And the bus drivers did travel to go on strike for the day. So there were no buses. Now it was Saturday and Nick was working in his garden, right? Do you get it?
Sí, ahora más mejor.
Ok, es bueno saberlo. Tal vez tengas alguna otra duda, Hugo.
No, eso era todo.
Ok. En realidad, Hugo, nos queremos enfocar en el do, el does y el did, porque en cuanto al verbo to be, como les había mostrado, right, pasa desapercibido. O sea, no, es más, yo no les hubiera dicho que tenemos esas formas verbales, right, que tenemos también para enfatizar, por ejemplo, you're blushing, aren't you? No, I'm not, right. En realidad, lo que le hace el enfatizador es la forma en la que voy a hablar, right. Lo que sí nos interesa es el uso del he does it meet, doesn't he, right? Acá esto es un enfatizador, pero pasa desapercibido porque sigue la misma estructura del tiempo verbal, right?
Ok, sí, eso sí. Eso sí lo pude ver.
All right, Hugo. Maybe do you have another question that I can help you with?
No, teacher, no.
All right, thank you, Hugo. So if you don't have any question, please try to continue practicing, right? And that will be everything for today, right? Did you feel the pool?
Yes.
All right, thank you, Hugo. See you
Thank you
tomorrow.
for your time, teacher. Appreciate. Thank you very much.
Don't worry. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.